We all see successful companies out there, right? But what's the real secret sauce that takes a company from being just good to becoming an absolute legend? It's a huge question, and today we're going to unpack the 5-minute blueprint for making that incredible leap.
I mean, this is the real heart of the matter, isn't it? We're not talking about saving a failing company. That's a whole different ballgame. This is about something way harder. Taking a solid, pretty good organization and turning it into one that completely dominates its industry for years. So how on earth do you do that?
So the whole journey, it all starts right here, with leadership. But, and this is a big but, it's probably not the kind of leadership you're picturing. See, the foundation for greatness isn't built on flashy, famous CEOs. It's built on something much, much deeper.
It all kicks off with something called Level 5 leadership. And this is where your brain might do a little flip. You can just forget that image of the celebrity CEO brought in to save the day. The leaders who actually pull this off are this strange, paradoxical mix. On one hand, they are incredibly humble, quiet, reserved, almost shy. But on the other hand, they have this intense, almost ferocious professional will to see the company win. I mean, that really makes you stop and question our whole idea of what a powerful leader looks like, doesn't it? What if the key isn't some loud, visionary genius, but a quiet servant with an absolute will of steel? The research is clear. This is a fundamental piece of the puzzle.
So what's the first move these level 5 leaders make? They focus on who, not what. The idea is so simple, it's revolutionary. First, get the right people on the bus. Just focus on their character and their drive. Then, and only after you have the right team, do you figure out where that bus is going. The people come before the strategy, every time.
All right, so you've got your dream team on the bus. What's next? Well, this next step, it takes some serious guts. You have to be willing to stare reality right in the face, no matter how ugly it gets. It's all about radical honesty. Every organization stands at this crossroads. Are you going to cling to the comforting illusions, those nice stories you wish were true, or are you going to have the courage to face the brutal, unvarnished facts? Great companies create a culture where the truth is always on the table, even when it's really hard to hear.
And here's the paradox, and it's a big one. You have to look at the absolute worst parts of your reality, but at the very same time, you have to keep this unshakable faith that you're going to succeed in the end. Now, this isn't just blind optimism. It's a deep confidence that says, yeah, we see exactly how tough this is, and we have zero doubt we're going to find a way to win. Okay, you have the right people, and you have a firm grip on reality. So how do you cut through all the noise and figure out your path? Well, that is where the Hedgehog Concept comes in. It's a beautiful, simple framework for finding your one singular focus.
The first piece of this puzzle starts with a really core question. What are you genuinely, deeply passionate about? Not just what your company is good at, but what is the thing that truly lights a fire in your team? What's the mission that makes the work actually feel important?
Next, you've got to get really practical, almost ruthless about it. You need to figure out the single metric, like profit per X, that is the absolute key to driving your economic engine. It's about finding that one number that, if you could just get it pointed in the right direction, would change everything. It brings so much clarity. And finally, we've got what might be the toughest question of them all. This one requires total, brutal honesty. What can your organization realistically be the absolute best in the world at? And, just as important, what can you not be the best at? So you see how this works? Your Hedgehog Concept is right there, smack in the middle, where your passion, your economic driver, and what you can be the best at all overlap. That simple, powerful idea becomes your North Star. It makes every single decision from that point on so much easier.
Look, having a brilliant concept is great, but let's be real. It's totally worthless if you can't actually execute on it. And that brings us to the engine that powers this entire journey, a true culture of discipline.
Now, when I say discipline, please erase that image of rigid rules and soul-crushing bureaucracy. That's not it at all. Think of it more like a liberating framework. When you have disciplined people who are engaged in disciplined thought, you just don't need a heavy-handed management style. You end up creating a culture of freedom and responsibility. This is the sweet spot. This is the ultimate goal. A culture where freedom and accountability are in perfect balance. People feel empowered to take action and innovate, but they stay within the simple boundaries of that Hedgehog Concept, and they are held accountable for their results. That combination is pure rocket fuel for long-term success. So let's just quickly pull it all together. There it is, the blueprint.
You start with that humble, determined level 5 leader. They get the right people on the bus first. That amazing team then confronts the brutal facts with unwavering faith. That clarity lets them find their hedgehog concept. And then finally, they build a culture of discipline to make it all happen. You know, when you step back and look at this whole framework, you realize something pretty profound. The journey from good to great, it's not really about beating the competition or conquering some market. It's an internal transformation. It's a disciplined metamorphosis of a company's character, its focus, and its will.
And that really leaves us with one last question to think about. And this isn't just for some big company, this is for all of us. In your work or even in your life, what is the one brutal fact that you need to confront with that same unwavering faith to start your own journey from good to great? The journey starts right there.